Hello, and welcome to the Tax Advisor and Biz Coach Success Weekly podcast. The purpose of this episode is to help entrepreneurs to become more successful and avoid tax headaches. I am your host, Liz Soria, and I specialize in tax advisory and business coaching. Let's get started with episode 5. Choosing the right tax professional, and why this is so important when you're making a decision. See, the truth is, it's not how much your tax preparer charges you that matters. It's how much your tax preparer costs you. So let me repeat that. It's not how much your tax preparer charges you that matters. It's how much your tax preparer costs you. The reality is that you have all the answers. Your advisor should have all the questions, not the opposite. So this is why it's so crucial when it comes to deciding who should I hire. It's not about just inputting past history data into the forms, right, to complete a return. It's about helping clients being able to cut down on their taxes. And then with that extra cash flow of monies that anyhow you should have paid in your taxes as a liability, now you're able to have that cash flow and you're able to reinvest it in something that can produce more ordinary income or even passive income. So when I have clients that ask me, well, for an example, why should I pay you more, Liz? Well, see, the reality is that tax professionals that are charging less for the work is because they have less education and experience. So we do pay for the expertise, but in return, you get a greater tax savings. So it is important that you look at those kind of aspects when you are hiring a tax professional. I always believe in in the fact that it says that you get what you pay for. And that's a very true statement. I see people trying to cut down and do it yourself approach of doing, tax preparation on their own through all these, big softwares like TurboTax and many others that I can mention. And I'm not affiliated, by the way, with any of them. But the truth is that unfortunately, when I get clients that say, well, I got a nasty letter from, Internal Revenue Services stating that, I got a, interest. I got penalties because apparently I did something wrong while I was, filing my tax return. See, the truth is that when you're doing your return online, what's important is for you to understand the questions. If you answer them wrong, unfortunately, there will be consequences. And this is what I've been getting a lot, especially in the last 2 years, as more people are getting more comfortable, doing, for them to do it themselves. They also are coming, with many issues. So again, I believe that tax professionals are always going to be there. Why? Let me just share a little history about tax code. Back in the 1930s, all the tax code was barely maybe 30 pages. Now in these days, we have over 5,800 tax codes. That's a lot of tax law. I don't even know them all. So it is very complex, it is very confusing, and the last thing you want to do is get a credit or deduction now and then find out a year later or a few months later that you get a letter from Internal Revenue saying, hey, we want that credit back. And now, on top of that, we're going to go ahead and assess penalties and interest. So as I tell my prospect clients, especially when they call in and inquire about my services, I tell them, please be selective. Hiring a tax professional is extremely, extremely, I have to emphasize this, important decision. It's not who's going to be the cheapest, around the block. It's who's going to be able to provide you with tax advisory. Because in reality, your tax preparer should be your tax advisor. See, the purpose is not just getting out of the way your tax return, because I know a lot of you, as it is, I'm recording this podcast in the middle of tax season. And I think what's really the point that I want to come out clear is knowing your tax professional. Is that the right person that you need for your future planning? I mean, are they saving you taxes? Are they cutting down your bill? Are they giving you ideas? All of these are things that you really need to, look into. Because again, if you have a simple return, let's say for an example, you have what we call the simple form, which is the 1040EZ for some of you who might not be familiar, but that's what's the name of it. And if that's the situation, that's fine. If you just have one or two W-2s, by all means, I tell even again, clients that call me, can you do my return? It's so simple, you can do it. It's really it's a very um, simple process, and anyone can do it. Now, if you have more of a complex return and now you're dealing with properties, or you have investments in real estate or stocks or business or things like that, that's a little bit more delicate. You do need someone who have studied the tax code and understands it and is going to apply every single credit that really you deserve. So again, I want to emphasize this again in this podcast because I'm getting this quite a lot since the beginning of this tax season in January. And it's just to me, I want to help out people out there, but they also, need to realize that, we do need these type of professional advisory service. It's not about just filing and complete the return and getting rid of it, and then you don't have to worry about it until next year. See, the reality is that if you cut your taxes now, it's more money you're going to have in your pocket. Whether you want to use it for vacation, or whether you want to use it to pay down your debt, or even if you really want to go ahead and put it into an investment, which is what I would probably strongly recommend. So I hope that, my podcast, as I'm doing it on a weekly basis, it's helping out to reach my audience and giving them a guidance to what kind of decisions they can make. So again, how to choose the right tax professional. Always education, experience, and they need to be proactive. If they're not, then probably that's not the tax profession you want to hire. Once again, I thank you. This is your host, Liz Soria. And until next time, thank you.